Okay, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So this is another episode of the I Just Saw segment. And if you guys are paying attention to your calendars and you're paying attention to the Marvel release schedule, I don't know how accurate that thing is anymore, but we are going to be talking about me just seeing Captain America Brave New World. And what can be said about it? It actually was not bad. And I can say that it wasn't bad for a couple reasons. And the first one that I can come up with is the character of Falcon is actually very entertaining to watch. I really enjoyed him in all of his installments. I really loved his introduction to the MCU in Captain America Winter Soldier. He was a great addition. I was not expecting him. I don't know too much about like Marvel. I mean, the only things that I ever knew about Marvel growing up was from the cartoons and the animated series and, you know, other things like that. So I knew about the character of Falcon. I didn't know he had enough clout to be introduced into the MCU, but, you know, after I saw him, I was like, you know what? I was very entertained. Like the whole sequence with him and Cap taking down the, spoiler alerts, taking down the helicarriers. That was a great scene that had me on the edge of my seat. A lot of people were iffy about Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is a continuation to that series or show because it talks about a lot of the things that were going on in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And surprisingly, and this is because of the introduction of the Red Hulk, which there are pretty much no spoilers that can be said for the Red Hulk because it was a huge marketing campaign for the whole movie and putting him in the forefront. So it was like a accidentally on purpose spoiler that they were using to get people in to see the movie. Was it a good thing to do? I would have liked to have had the Red Hulk's introduction made a surprise. I would have even liked to have had Harrison Ford's identity as Thunderbolt Ross to be a surprise as well, because I didn't know that they were going to be going ahead with that character after the passing of the original actor that was playing General Ross throughout the whole MCU since Incredible Hulk. And that's the other thing of this movie, is because they were talking about Red Hulk and the introduction to Red Hulk, there is a lot of like back tracing to things from the beginning stages of the MCU in a movie that for the most part people have been ignoring, and only just recently in like the past couple years this film, The Incredible Hulk, was actually added to Disney Plus, you know, because they were so like on the fence. And I think there was like another thing with like Paramount, because Paramount owned Hulk just like Spider-Man was owned by Sony and Fox had the X-Men. Paramount owned The Incredible Hulk. So I guess that was like the reason why there were no individual Hulk films. But, you know, oddly enough, I think that they actually had the Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk TV series on Disney Plus, but for some reason they couldn't do the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. But anyways, so there are things that were left stagnant for so many years in the MCU, like when are they going to introduce this person? When is this person going to come into fruition? When are all these plot holes going to finally be filled? You know, so you do get a lot of that in this. And for the I Just Saw segments, I try my very best not to reveal any spoilers about the movie whatsoever. But like I said, Red Hulk is not a spoiler. It was like put in the forefront for everybody to see, and that was the reason for them to go see the movie. Side note, I will say, I got to admit that I go to AMC for a lot of my movies these days, and they had probably the best idea for a popcorn holder, because with every new release of a movie that they think is going to be like a blockbuster hit, they have themed popcorn buckets and, like, cups and holders and all that kind of stuff, and little figurines that are catered to those movies. And they had one for Sonic, and I don't know if you guys saw. I'll put it in the end of this video, but I actually had the popcorn holder of the Sonic the Hedgehog head, which, like, you could pop open the top and eat popcorn out of Sonic's head, the bust. But for Captain America, they actually had probably the most ingenious, and unfortunately I was not able to get it. But it was the shield of Captain America, and the popcorn holder was collapsible. So, like, you could pop it up and pour your popcorn into it, and then when you were done, you could collapse the bucket and then hold it like a shield. And I thought that was, if there was anything that is to be desired, like, wow, that was really cool. So that actually added to the experience. I did see this in IMAX, so it's one of those subtle differences when you go see a movie in IMAX and then you see it in, like, the original format. Unless you're seeing the two side by side, you're not going to really know too much of a difference, at least to me. But yeah, that's just like talking about the ambiance. The theater was pretty full, which was also another good treat, because I don't like going to see movies on debuts when there's, like, very little audience in there with me. That's why I was so glad when I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, that I went on a special fan event, which yesterday is when I saw this movie, Captain America, and this was also a fan event. So, I mean, I got a little keychain just for seeing the movie, so that was pretty cool. Just like little things. But yeah, back to the movie. There were reshoots to this film, and like a lot of things that have been going on for the past couple decades with Disney, they've been pushing agendas and worrying about messages more than, making a good story. So a lot of the times whenever Disney is releasing a new movie, that's something that I'm always worried about, because I don't want to lose the feel for a great story that could be just for a message that nobody really wants to hear, and I don't want to go too far down that road, but there were people that said, and I can probably find some actual quotes and clippings from said interviews that I'll post around when I can find them, that I think it was actually Anthony Mackie that said himself that Harrison Ford's character was supposed to be a direct mirroring of Donald Trump. So I think that was taken out because, like I did say, they did have reshoots, and I had no issues with this film. I didn't. I'm pretty good at picking up the little subtleties that a lot of films and movies are trying to, like, push in there these days. So I didn't really have any issues with this one. There was probably one issue that I was just like, why are we having to see a character like this? And maybe it was like one of the lingering ones, and I'm probably nitpicking, and that's a job for my other persona, but there was a certain character in here, and I think she might have been disabled in one way or another. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to say too much on it without revealing a spoiler about this character, you know? So I'll let you see for yourself, and you can definitely have your own opinions on it. But I was just like thinking to myself, it's like, why is this like their subtle way of still trying to do a little bit of DEI, you know? And like I said, I don't want to touch too much base on it, but I will touch a little bit, you know? And I was just like, but it wasn't loudly thrown in your face. So that was definitely something that I just put in the back recesses of my mind, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, the idea and the character of Falcon was always entertaining, from his debut in Winter Soldier, in Civil War, in all of the Avenger Infinity War saga films. He was good in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't care too much about the symbolism that was put into that, because there were, and I'll let you go to some of the other people that are a lot better at talking about the little subtleties to that series and why it wasn't as well received as it could have been. But it didn't bother me. So I enjoyed just about everything that Falcon was ever in. So seeing him take the reins and doing a lot that he was able to do with his suit in this fourth installment was really, really cool. I was very entertained. I liked the fact that they gave him a sidekick. I thought it was kind of weird, though, that he got one so soon. You know, like Captain America went a little bit before he got Bucky back. You know, even more so, not until Winter Soldier did Captain America get Falcon, you know, so I just thought it was kind of sped up. Like, okay, so you got your own movie and you got your own sidekick, and go off, you know, go run and have at it, you know? So, but Red Hulk was good. There are many things from other films. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, because they do talk about Hulk and Abomination's fight in Harlem, which was one of the key factors in Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk. So that was really cool to put that in fruition, to put that back into the big picture. So I was really entertained by this. All in all, I thought it was really good. I would definitely see this again. I have no problem seeing this again. There were no strong hidden meanings. There were nothing like that. So that's just a little bit of the character, a little bit that I wanted to say on the film. Maybe I will come back and I will talk more on this on a later time when more people have seen the film, and then I'll release a spoilers take on it. But other than that, I would say this definitely gets 2 thumbs up for me. They're not high thumbs. I mean, it was entertaining. It could have been better. But you see, it's like one of those things where it's like, it could have been better, but I don't care enough to think about, oh, what could those better elements have been? You know, so I'm complacent with it. You know, I'm very satisfied with what it was. And like I already said, it will get my money a second time, maybe even a third time, you know, depending on if another family member wants to go see it with me. I will definitely go see it. But all in all, I say it's really good. I will say definitely go see it. I don't know what the original cut would have been, but like I said, there were reshoots, and yeah. One last thing that I wanted to touch base on that I will do some research on is there was a character named Serpent who was played by, what's his name? Claudia Esposito. And he was the guy who played Gus in Breaking Bad. And I could have sworn, and I was like trying to think, um, there was a band or group of villains that were all snake themed, like Sidewinder, Copperhead, Serpent. So I don't know if the organization was called Serpent and the leader was Despacito, or if his name was Sidewinder or what. But the only reference that I ever knew to these specific characters were from the Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, and they were like all mechanicked out with serpent themed suits, you know. And I think that there's actually like, I can't remember if it's within the DC universe or the Marvel universe, but I think they have their own Serpentine organization, almost like Cobra for G.I. Joe. But yeah, if somebody knows on that, definitely let me know. The thing that makes it difficult with the MCU is they're trying so hard to be realistic with their characters that we can't tell any of these villains from who they are in the comics, because in the comics, they're actually comic catered villains. They actually have like a suit of their own. They have a shtick. They have a gimmick and all this kind of stuff. And for some reason, it's just not there because they want to make it look more believable for the movies, which I understand. But I mean, they could give us a little something. In Luke Cage, I believe he had a villain that was his brother that was like Cobra or something like that. Copperhead, maybe. And he actually put on a suit that almost looked like a snake. So I wish we would have gotten something like that just so that we could like know going forward, oh, look, that's Whirlwind, or that's Batroc the Leaper, or, so on and so forth, But yeah, that is going to wrap it up for this I Just Saw. Just wanted to give you my 2 cents on what I thought about the movie, and I think it's safe to see, Disney is coming out of its message bracket, I think, and these reshoots are definitely talking and speaking for themselves. So, I would say go see it. Everything's clear. See you in the next one.